afternoon, all audience, dear members and office bearers of Cooperative Housing Society in Maharashtra. I welcome you all in RSP MSWA talk show on subject procedure of adoption of revised bylaws of 2014 by Cooperative Housing Societies as per MCS Act 1960 and Rules 1961. It is observed that most of the cooperative housing societies in Maharashtra have not adopted revised bylaws of 2014. According to the law, it is compulsory to adopt revised or amended bylaws by each and every cooperative housing society. If it is found that any cooperative housing society has not adopted revised model bylaws in prescribed time period, in such circumstances, Deputy Registrar can dismiss managing committee of such society and it can be penalized too. Now, I will tell you the procedure of adoption of revised bylaws of 2014. As per MCS Act 1960 and Rules 1961, under provision of Rule number 12(2) of Maharashtra Cooperative Societies, it prescribes the procedure to be followed for amendments to the bylaws. As per the rule, honorary chairman, secretary of society has to give due notice to all members of society for consideration of amendment in its bylaws. The bylaw number 166 in the existing model bylaws deals with amendments to the bylaws. Proposal of amendments in bylaws has to be communicated to all members clear 14 days, 2 weeks before AGBM or SGBM at which it is to be considered. In the meantime, copy of existing bylaws and copy of revised set of model bylaws proposed to be adopted at general body meeting should be kept in office of the society for inspection purpose by the members at the convenient time. In this regard, notice should be put up on the notice board of society for awareness of members. To consider adoption of the revised set of model bylaws of 2014 introduced by Commissioner for Cooperation and Registrar Cooperative Societies Maharashtra State Pune in the place of existing bylaws of society, following steps should be executed. Now I will explain the steps. Number 1, the resolution has to be passed by not less than 2/3 majority of members present and voting at the meeting of general body of the society. Number 2, resolution to be passed in AGBM or SGBM with respect of adoption of revised bylaws that the honorary chairman, secretary and one committee member of society are authorized to sign the proposal of amendment of bylaws, that is adoption of revised set of bylaws in the place of existing bylaws. Number 3, a proposal for amendment in existing bylaws is required to be submitted to the authority, that is deputy registrar or assistant registrar of that particular ward, that is the registering authority, with 5 enclosures, that is number 1 to number 5 in given specimen format. Number 4, information of enclosures number 1 and 4 could be filled up in the from the records of society. Number 5, columns of enclosures number 2, 3 and 4 are to be filled up to serve as per guidance. Number 6, the proposal of adopting the set of revised bylaws in the place of existing set of bylaws of society should be prepared as shown in the specimen format and submitted to registering authority. Number 7, if proposal is not submitted within the prescribed time limit, it becomes invalid. Hence, entire fresh process will be necessary to be executed. Number 8, for adoption purpose, the names and signature of only chairman, secretary and authorized member of managing committee are necessary. Number 9, names and signature of all promoters, that is members, are necessary for submitting registration proposal only. Now I will tell you important guidelines to be followed in adoption of revised bylaws. Number 1, affix rupees 25, non-judicial court fees stamps on application. Number 2, submit one certified copy of existing bylaws of the society. Number 3, submit 4 copies of revised model bylaws to be adopted bearing society's name and stamp. Number 4, enclose a certified copy of the notice of AGBM or HGBM in which proposal was considered and approved. Number 5, submit 4 copies of enclosure number 4 duly signed and stamped. Number 6, submit the proposal within 2 months, that is 60 days from the date of its approval in general body meeting. Now I will tell you about the attachment, how you have to submit it. Now Appendix A, that is application to be submitted to Deputy Registrar or Assistant Registrar or Registering Authority for approval of adoption of revised bylaws. Now enclosure number 1, this is first attachment. It includes certification by secretary, chairman, authorized member of managing committee about notice and agenda and amendments. Number 2, enclosure number 5, details of society share capital, reserve funds, audit date, deposits, loans, profit for last 3 years. These enclosure number 1 and 5 should be filled up from society record. Number 3, enclosure number 2, details of bylaws, original and amendment, that is number 1, bylaws number 1 to 175 and number 2, appendix number 1 to 28 of various forms. Now number 4, enclosure number 3 to be attached. So details of bylaws number 1 to 175, appendix number 1 to 28, addenda and corrigenda to be to bylaws as per copy of revised set of bylaws. Now reason for amendments, because present bylaws of society are not adequate to regulate the entire working of society. Now number 5, enclosure number 4, 4 separate copies of enclosure number 4 should be supplied, which are duly signed and stamped by chairman, secretary and one authorized member of managing committee. Enclosure number 2, 3 and 4 should be filled up as per guidance and requirement mentioned in the specific format. So this is the procedure of adoption of new bylaws by Cooperative Housing Society. If you have got any queries, you are requested to contact on our email IDs. Number 1, rsprabhu13@gmail.com and number 2, arunb.papcl@gmail.com and third one, mswanews.in. Thank you very much.